mic real quick. Let me wipe off my camera because it's looking kind of dirty, and my mixer is acting up. Okay. What's up, y'all? Today we're playing Valorant.
They have no idea how heartless I am.
First, let me check so my mic is working well. Okay, let's do this. You send the stream out to a few people. You know, you're just gonna send it out. Hello, I hope everybody's having a good night or morning, depending on where you're at. Let's see, let me disconnect my phone from my TV. Since this is just a pistol match, I will not be using anything much for this round. If you guys don't know, I'm a Vayner main. I can also use what is his name? Omen. I'm good with Omen as well. And I'm just gonna be playing this.
Careful of the edges. Not sure if I could catch you in time if you fell off. I mean, I'd try, of course.
Okay. Let me go ahead and just get started. I know the match kind of started, but I still got time. They're not gonna kill me yet.
Someone's in defender spawn.
Plus, the enemy team time.
Spike down mid.
Enemy removed. I have the spike.
I do want to do that for Hollister though. Let me actually use my phone as my chat because my second monitor still isn't working the way I wanted it to, and it's actually kind of lagging like this entire game, and I'm actually about to do this. Maybe it'll stop the lag. Nope, that doesn't stop the lag at all. Never mind, it's not lagging anymore.
Enemy spotted B.
Last player standing.
Dang it. That's my fault. Second match.
Reloading.
I wish there's like a way that I
Omen.
could get like a camera that sees like what I see. I think if I got a GoPro, I could simulate that kinda. Like if there's like a camera that like I don't know, like I don't know, put it on like glasses. Actually, I think like camera glasses things, but like high quality. That'd be kind of like amazing. Like imagine like you're just playing and like someone's like, "What do you see, ma'am?" Because honestly, when I'm looking at the camera and they're looking at my screen, my keyboard looks much better on person. Like on my in person, my keeper looks nice and cloudy. I don't know. It looks calming. On screen, it just looks like a bunch of rainbow maps. Like,
Spike planted.
looks more off-putting.
Last player standing.
What's all these presets? But I always think this one looks nice too. Same thing. But like, I think this one looks the nicest in person. Easiest to
You
look
see
at.
under my hood, Cypher. Does it scare you?
Owen was the original emo boy. How do you guys feel about putting eggs on sandwiches or burgers? Like, it's good sometimes, but sometimes it's bad. Like an egg on a bologna sandwich or like a cheeseburger, it's pretty good. But you know, when you put an egg on like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, it's not that good.
Carrier was killed.
Spike down mid.
I have the spike.
Last player
down.
standing.
I forgot that I had my
Reyna,
UTILs.
time to hunt.
I forgot all about UTILs like this entire match. We're probably gonna be playing some Spike versus after this because that's what I normally play. I like quick and easy games.
I must endure.
Is it-
Watch this.
Gotta let them know where you stand.
Spike planted.
Hey, that's
Last
my fault.
player
That's my
standing.
fault. Oh, no.
I'll make them remember. They're only human.
What? You better get me demonetized, man. Bro. You better get me demonetized.
Stay down.
Still in sight.
Last
Spike's
player
down.
standing. Spike down A.
You're
My bad. That's my fault. Oh, God.
I
What's up,
hate
dude?
to say it, but probably best to play as a team. So, what's the plan?
We ain't surrendering.
Need a drop. Thanks. Let's go.
I know exactly where it begins.
Spike planted. My ult's ready.
Last player standing.
still in sight. Cutting their
part of my like people gotta see that my short is blocked
We got this.
by my webcam because it's like right here, so I cannot see like anything past that. But you know, you saw like what skin would be better? Do I even have a phantom skin? I think so. I'm gonna just
Need a drop.
ask. I don't even remember what skin I had for Phantom. If I have one. They don't have enough money for it though. Expect it is. Let's get this.
Enemy spotted mid. Wall raised.
Cutting their vision.
Enemy spotted A.
Feet.
Reloading.
Oh, they get me from behind.
Last
Hit me
player
from the back.
standing.
Paul? Nah, that wasn't Paul's. If y'all thinking dirty, that's on y'all. If y'all thinking dirty, that's just on y'all. Oh, looking directly at it all network.
Stay in sight.
I was about to be like, bro, looking directly at it, and he ain't done. Like, I was about to say that he got the power of Medusa. Yeah, so you look at that thing. Just kind of get over it unless you get lucky with like freezing. It doesn't have much iPhone to have with this device.
Time for them to kneel.
Go. Oh my god. Why my Wi-Fi acting up?
My ultimate is ready.
Oh my god. Is that some sort of like lesbian sex ritual y'all doing right over there? And whoever gets the most stabs gets on top?
Watch this.
I mean, I have a slong, but sort of.
Bye. I'm pissed.
Last player standing.
Watch them run.
Behind you.
Yo, bro, that ass is just jealous he can't
I'm
join.
amped. Let's go. I got things to do.
I mean, low-key, I'll join, but like, I have a slong, so like, remember that. If you feel some kind of pointing and like sticking up in there, you know, don't worry.
Bruh.
I mean, it produces homemade lube.
Still in sight.
Don't go. They're mostly around the spikes area,
Enemy spotted.
if I saw them correctly.
Multiple enemies mid. Cover going out.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
Cuba will sit in the hot tub 5 feet apart because they're not gay.
Just let them try to catch me.
Well, I'm 14. Y'all going to jail for inviting me to your lesbian sex ritual, low-key. I mean,
Embarrassing.
y'all the ones that are gonna catch a case, not me. But all I know, I'm safe.
Spike down mid.
Cutting their vision.
Last player standing.
Never saw me. Cutting their vision. They will cower.
Use me as an example. This is why you
Even with
always
numbers,
reload after a
anything can
kill.
still happen. Remember that.
Put a gun to the head and shoot 'em dead. And tell the goth girl to give you some mean head. Catch her by surprise, the nut in her eyes. Then go ahead and give her a cup full of ice.
Spike down A.
Still inside.
One dead.
On the right, on the right.
Last player
Behind you.
standing.
Opponent killed.
One enemy remaining.
3 down.
Heal yourself, heal yourself.
Enemy taken
They
out.
actually just popped off. Low key. I'm kind of jealous.
Last round before the switch.
We cannot keep our goods after this. Spend all.
To be honest, if you ever get into a lobby with somebody using Sage or Jet, you know they about to be overpowered.
Fight!
But I'm the professional booty grabber.
Enemy spotted A.
Still in sight.
Barrier created.
Your duty is not over.
Omen killed.
My ult's ready.
I'm bottom fragging. How much on I bet? Oh shoot. I know. I'm mid fragging.
Last player standing.
Cutting their vision.
Man, if I just pressed S one more time, I would have been behind that box.
Switching sides.
What will it be this time? Have any patterns emerged yet?
Y'all, I just have an amazing idea. If we just dodge like every single bullet, we will not lose. Think about it like that. You know, kind of like Ultra Instinct Goku. You know, well, Master Ultra Instinct Goku, like he didn't get hit, so he won. That's gonna be my plan. You know, I seen Star Wars. They were the flicking lasers with like a sword and or a lightsaber. My knife kind of looks like a lightsaber, kind of, with some like ectoplasm. I don't know what the hell this is, but you know, it looks close enough. I can deflect the bullets. Like my name is Kylo Ren. For the motherland. I'm scared.
Enemy spotted me.
Yo, Sage. Let me suck your titty for comfort.
Spike planted.
We turn to dust.
Man, I just be saying anything. I mean, even better because it's still milk. Well, it's still what kind of milk? I don't know. Like, I guess one is lactation, the other one is ejaculation. So like, close enough. Both like are like, they both rhyme.
Together, we will
How do
bury
mock
the
and
undead
Jack don't rhyme,
transgressions.
but pony and baloney rhymes? Well, I can't take it. On Halloween, There would be a nigga, you would take his pain. He's big and black, you would take your candy. That nigga's name is Big Dick Andy. I don't know what to say my headphones on.
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted A.
Oh, I wasn't even
Last
nowhere
player
near.
standing.
Okay, I guess I gotta do something. Are my headphones even on the right way? I think I got. Yup.
Match point.
They think they know pain.
So turns out I had the right earphone on the left ear and the left earphone on the right ear. So my audio cues are like all messed up. Screw it. Surrender.
Attackers win.
Blades.
5 kills on this thing. Holy cow, though. Control tab, interact, close that out. So tab. Now we gotta play some Spike Rush. Cause I'm the closest denominator. I just shit my pants call that if I don't really
Match
know how to
found.
rhyme that well. I was thinking of something. I just said my pants itch for baconated.
They have no idea how hard this is.
KT's pop collection. That's sad.
Oh.
But he's a Phoenix. Okay, I got mad respect for Phoenix players because he mad annoying to use. Oh, the fact that like almost like 3 people got the same little banner. Well, that is just me being different. I'm just built different. That's how you really act different. Just gotta be built different. And it worked. On Halloween, there will be. I can't really say the house on though. Y'all should use buff. I already got like a Valorant points for this, but I'm not sponsored though. Like, y'all should use it. Okay.
Spike rush.
Hey Raina, how old
Y'all know what I just
no
spelled.
shade, you look great, but like sometimes you say the strangest things.
Low key, this gonna be kind of easy. I say that now.
Reloading.
Cover going out.
Cutting their vision.
Cover going out.
Feeling sight.
Last player standing. $30 left.
Hey, in my defense, I'm black.
Twitchy here, let's go already.
Oh, not this. I hate this skin. I'm never get off good shots with this.
Embarrass them.
The hunt begins.
I'll find you. Mark 2.
Shadows.
Enemy A.
Cutting their vision.
Last player standing. Flawless. Last round in the half.
Their phoenix shines on the outside, but
Oh, that's a bit easier.
his doubt.
My Odin's Fade. I swear, wasn't there like a time of Valorant, like some guns didn't have like a scope?
Embarrassing. My ultimate's
I'm not thinking
ready.
of kind of like how CS:GO some guns didn't have a scope. I swear there's some guns that didn't have any, like no ADS.
Cover going out.
Not really scope, but like no ADS. I should say that.
One enemy remaining.
There can only be one hero.
Beep 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 beep
Switching
beep
sides.
beep.
Turns in our favor.
Okay, let's see what's going on. Does anybody have like the red version of this? Cause like I have the blue one, but I want to use red right now. Just low key. Yeah, nobody got it. I'm leaving y'all to y'all stuff.
Get back.
Man.
Cutting through.
Flash!
Who just got a Mongo? Who is that? I fucking think is, but you know, sus.
Careful now.
Last player standing. 30 seconds left. Spike planted.
They're on the other side, my dude.
Dead!
Match point.
They have courage, but no one is immune.
Oh man, a Marshall? I suck. But there's a bullet even going, I should say. I'll just go straight for it, but like. Okay, that's not too bad.
Decoy.
Watch your guy.
Joke's over! You're dead!
Spike planted.
Enemy spotted mid.
Reload.
Cutting their vision.
My ult is ready.
Feeling that.
Player standing. Attackers win.
Let's see what's over here again. Time get in 13 days. That's sad. Recall. Okay, I feel like that'd be like hella nice. That'd be looking nice. What is this? Fake out spray? That actually seems dope. Tez, are you high? Oh my lord. I'm not high. I'm just black. Whole difference. Let's oh he on a closed party out here, man. That's a double down. If you ask me, that's a double down. I'm gonna still invite him though. I'm still gonna invite him. I'm still gonna invite him. If he don't join, yay. Okay, swift play. Swift play match. As always, when you set
Match found.
on some hot ice, and then they wanna be your president, and you're gonna be the vice.
They have no idea how heartless I am.
I use a wireless mouse, spouse, honey. The kids burnt down the house. Sometimes you can masturbate while eating top ramen at a faster rate. Okay, y'all. Oh man, the match started before I could even say anything to my team. We got ghostly thing. Okay, there's no leader on the other team, but there is a fade. That can mess a lot of things up.
All they cry for, once they know they're going to die.
Okay. Do you guys like suck on titties or do y'all suck on dick? Like there's two different ways. You can do lactation or ejaculation. You need to know.
Spotted me. Right. Shadows trap. Molly.
Spike planted.
Enemy removed.
Cover going out.
The Emancipation Proclamation.
Rest.
Where are the enemies at? And why do I smell butter?
One enemy remaining.
Die. Oh, if I walk into it, it won't die.
Don't forget who you are, Omen. A man, not a monster.
I mean, from the looks of this, it don't look like Omen is a man. Omen don't even got a face. He's just a hoodie boy. He is a boy with a ukulele. My friends are toxic. All the pencil is so rude and all. Wait a second.
One brimstone is enough.
Hear me out. Hear me out about Omen. And from the backside, he ain't looking too bad.
Molly.
But
Enemy spotted. Mid.
Spike planted.
Cutting their vision.
Launching smoke.
did the brimstone?
Last player
Was that
standing.
brimstone? I think so. Brimstone? But if his name is yet Brimstone. Was he like looking everywhere except for the blind? Because I know. He had to be looking everywhere except for where the blind was. It's like the only thing exited his screen.
Enemy down.
Oh, I'm gonna circumcise his nutsack.
My burden never ends.
Yo, Sober. Sober. Yo, Sober, why you running away from me, Sober? Why you running away? Yo, boy, I got a question for you. How do you feel about big titty goth girls? Big titty goth girls, wait a minute, I mean, low key, the small titty ones be kind of hitting too. But how you feel about thick thigh girls? How y'all feel about them? 'Cause to me, that's a 10 out of 10 all the way.
Good attempt. My ultimate is ready.
Now we're cooking.
Last player standing. Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
My name is I am 33 years old. House is in North East Section of Moyo, where all the villas are, and I am not married. I work as an employee
Last
for the Common
round before the
Department
switch.
Stores, and I get home every day by 8 p.m. at the
Spend
latest.
it
I
all
don't smoke,
before
but I
it's gone.
occasionally drink. I'm in bed by 11 p.m. and I make sure I get 8 hours of sleep, no matter what. After having a glass of warm milk, about 20 minutes of searching for bed. I usually have no problem sleeping until morning, just like a baby. I'm not gonna say the whole speech. I don't remember the rest of it. I don't remember the rest.
Who's next? Reloading.
Face your fear!
It could be mad crazy. Oh yeah, I forgot they know exactly where I am. I'm so blinded. Should have set up my blind. Okay.
Last player standing.
But you know, I haven't played Valorant in a good few weeks. So I forgot what all the enemies do. Well, missed every shot, now they know you exist. Oh, they shook the house all around. They were afraid. They were panicking.
Switching
I try to
sides.
play with my mouse.
I want
Match
their
point.
life
Oh,
on
like-
drugs.
I need this.
Like this. Oh, that's kind of sore. That's kind of sore. How y'all feel about canned coochie. After this, you know, play switch games. Let me play a little bit of Grand Theft Auto. Do some goofy stuff in there.
Scanning ahead.
Levano. No, I did have a Grand Theft Auto series running, but you know, kinda gave up on that.
Reloading.
Out of charges.
Cover going out.
Enemy spotted mid.
Low key. This crouch button. Madam comfy for some reason.
Enemy spotted A.
Planted.
One enemy remaining.
Reloading.
Time for a protein shake.
We are not done.
I got a Glock. Low key, the people that be using trophies as their knives, like, in all honest, you gotta have some force to kill somebody only using a trophy. And then you gotta be smart because they got a gun.
Revealing area. There they are.
Cutting them.
Enemy down.
Launching smoke.
Reloading.
And low key,
Cutting the ring.
Spike down A.
I feel like Mike Will did not make it.
Got the spike.
Our spike's down.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
He's behind that.
You were barely worth the effort.
Nice.
Their backs will be towards at least one of us.
Yeah. The back should be towards at least one of us. What does that mean? You want us to blow their back out?
I'll silence their breach.
Still in sight.
Revealing area.
Enemies.
Our spike carrier is dead.
Spike down B.
God, my mouse is lagging.
Turn to dust.
Launching smoke.
Cutting the ring.
Prepare for hellfire.
Man,
Last player standing. Defenders win.
yes. I ain't even gonna say nothing. I'm getting some. Where did you like to get this dude? See that?
Match found.
Dang.
They have no idea how
The fact that I'm
hard
auto locking it just tells you how much of a push I am. What do y'all gotta say though? Tim. Don't say nothing, because that's just a microphone to a camera. Can't hear from cameras. That's how we know we up and down. God.
I already feel their hope dying, and we haven't even begun. This will not take long.
When you feel their help dying. Sometimes I like to stick my hand in the dishwasher, let all the dishes get washed up in the hand dishwasher, and then make a dishwasher do your dishes. Because you want to show that dishwasher who your person is. Dishwasher, you ain't a human. Just don't be washing those dishes like you are one. Well, I think with like enough money, you can get somebody to do anything. Like, you can get somebody to eat a fetus for like probably $1 million. That's what Mr. Beast should do next. Whoever eats this baby fetus gets $1 million. Whoever can make this bill have an orgasm gets $2 billion. Giving $1 million to a homeless man and watching him crumble.
Smoke's down. Reloading. Enemy spotted C. Reloading. Stim beacon down.
Reloading.
Gotcha.
Last player standing.
They're on your left, but I don't so. Okay.
The enemy needs a good scare. Omen, you're up.
Well, if somehow this is amplified, what even is this? Is this an amplifier? Probably like a video sync thing.
Embarrassing. Cutting their vision.
Spike down, C. Last player standing. Spike planted.
There's one behind you.
Oh God.
She was on B.
Man, I'm going this way.
Good luck.
Cutting their vision.
This looks even worse because I'm lagging. You know what? I'm not even gonna say nothing.
Look at me.
I'm saying something anyways.
I am by your
I
side.
will suck a titty for $5 unless they got like some sort of disease, okay? Cause hear me out. $5. With $5, you could buy 5 bananas that cost $1. With $5, you could buy a bagel. Now, you gotta get some cream cheese with that bagel. But it's still a bagel. Bagel. What? Would I say bagel? No, that could have been my YouTube name. Bagel. What does that even mean?
Down and out. My ult's ready. Open up the sky.
Take flight.
Out of charges.
I mean, if you had a touch, I know how to get it for you. Just punch it out late.
Spike planted.
Man.
Enemy down.
Last round in the half.
We cannot keep our goods after this. Spend all.
What do you need? There.
I'm just going back for the gun. Bet. It's mine now.
Multiple enemy C. Down you go.
Enemy spotted C.
Still in sight.
Well, I just hit the omen. I didn't even look at my map. I just hit the omen. Started blinding.
Still in sight.
So anyways, I started blinding.
One dead.
They will cover.
30 seconds left. seconds left. One enemy remaining.
How sad. You're just like everyone else.
Switching
They couldn't
sides.
kill us. Now they're dead.
Low-key, Vader's ultimate is overpowered when you think about it. As long as you get at least one kill, you become invincible for like a few seconds. Vader. Like, if you think about it, you become invincible for like a few seconds. Like, you can't shoot, but that gives you enough time to like run away. Or set up something. Set up your next move. And Omen's is pretty good as well. Because you can teleport anywhere on the map. And if you don't got a good spot to teleport, you can use it to spy.
Reloading.
And Cypher's just attacking the other enemies, which is useful. Or once you get like enough of those ultimate things, you just press the button and on the map you have to mark a spot. But you gotta make sure you know you wanna go, because you only get one chance to teleport.
Are you high right now?
Launching
I
smoke.
thought so.
You know, I can't answer certain questions because YouTube can demonetize me. But, like, does the Pope let pedophiles get away with touching children?
Last player standing. Match point.
They don't have a single life worth saving.
Oh my god. It's you. Winston Overwatch. Sans Undertale.
I will rip their hearts out.
Okay, y'all, hear me out. So tree houses are called tree houses because they're made of wood from trees, okay? So does that make all houses tree houses? Because all the houses, like if your house is made from wood, that's a tree house. If you have like a cabin, that's a tree house. Some dog houses are tree houses. When you start thinking about it like that, we just live in tree houses on the daily. Does that make a bird's nest a tree house? And if two trees are together, and one of the how do you even grow a tree? Do they have seeds? No, you plant a tree from seeds, but like, I ain't never seen no tree seeds. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but have y'all ever saw a tree seed? Like a seed fall off a tree?
Defenders win.
No. I can spell out fast enough. Yeah, I should have. Yo. Should is the thing. We own probably not. Yeah. Okay, hop off of Valorant for now. Next we'll play something else. Okay, come on. Let's quit. Let's see if anybody wants to join the stream. Yeah, no one wants to join it now, but they're open to having people join while we go live. Let's see, what can we play now? Let's check some games that I can find. What's a good game? I don't want to play something that's like a long game. I could play Choo Choo Chaws for y'all, but like, that is something I don't want to play right now. You know, I don't want to play a game right now. I was hoping about just like Cookie Kitchen play it, so it wouldn't be nothing much. Y'all have any game recommendations that I could play, or any games that I could play with anybody watching? You know, there has to be like a few. Seems like somebody joined live. Hello, whoever joined. I hope you're having a wonderful day and night, depending on where you live. See what else? It could be afternoon for you. You never know. I've had like a cold for like the past few weeks, and it's finally going down. I kind of want to play like something that's nostalgic. Okay, like y'all know any good games for this? Actually, you know, let's play some Happy Wheels. Y'all play Happy Wheels in a while? I've played Happy Wheels in a while. We can play some Happy Wheels. I'm gonna have to use though, because my browser OpenGX for some reason you can't really like can't share screen on that. So I will have to use Chrome, but like that's gonna be too big of a deal. Let's play Happy Wheels since we haven't played that in a while. That is loud. Damn. Okay. Let me go ahead and kind of window capture because you will play some Happy Wheels, of course. That's a game that y'all have to remember, definitely. At the bottom. Like, y'all remember Happy game, like, it's fun, but like,
Hello there. How are you doing?
it's that creepy thing. Okay, can I like options full screen? Okay. Play. It's a level browser. Escape room. Play. How do I choose it? I gotta press it. B. No. 1, 2, 5. I think I gotta search. B 1, 2. I don't know. They think I'm smart. And I keep pressing backspace to get that. It's gonna. I'm just gonna exit the menu. Bottle flip. I wanna be the fat man. Oh God. Oh God, being the fat guy is not working out too well. I'm just gonna be the old man. Okay, that's not working out. Segway. He fits. Okay, I'm just gonna. That's him. My head's all messed up. You know. Bottle Christmas spell play. Start. Okay, I thought about it behind me after this. I gotta at least get it to bad. Okay. Okay, we don't get it this time. Get junk. Put up. Get bad. Get this one. Alright. Okay, you know, this ain't gonna work. No, forget that we even did that one. Forget we even did that one. Let's level Evid. Play his Grandpa Joe. Can't be that bad. Oh shoot, that's the watermelon. That's easy. That was easy. Fall hide. Oh, bow. Oh, I got chainsaw, man, dog. Let's see, but change the man I'm thinking about. All I gotta say is the final fight and Pop better Chainsaw Man. Where I just know I can say this without people being when escape room test, yeah. A test. Oh no. Not this again. I wish that like instead of like twisted wind. Cool. We gotta back up. Yeah, do that. Okay, what if I just do this? Only lost a leg. Pogo fight. Okay, bet. This can't be too crazy. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Okay, am I supposed to like... Okay, I kind of have an idea. That's it? I just have to bounce. Okay. Cheese machine. Is this how you become cheese? I don't seem too crazy yet. Oh. And I'm stuck to the wall. Okay, I'm gonna get to the bottom of the cheese machine. Oh, job, baby. I first have to have my hands in check. And then I'm gonna grab onto this thing. Fast. I need to get down here, okay? I got my leg stuck. That's it. Okay, bet. Oh, never mind. Okay, I just gotta go down. Assume fetal fate. Wait a second. I can. No, I can grab onto a wall. Can I like do it? No, that is too late for all that. Okay. It ain't all over. You gotta be able to get to the bottom of the cheese machine. Okay. I'll just go with it. Maybe that'll be the key. Think hit, okay. Did I got you to the bottom. I'm happy I got you to the bottom. Just run. Okay. I'm gonna just fly over all y'all. Oh shoot. Easy win. Easy win. I got nothing on you, boy. Save the watermelon? I can do that. I just gotta get the watermelon to the platform that I'm making. What did it say again? It's possible. I'll beat it while testing. Okay. Wait, if I hop off, would I be able to stop? Okay. But I ain't doing all that. Bank escape. Bank. I'm gonna be Santa Claus. Jingle bell, jingle. Okay, how do I get all that Christmas joy out though? Okay, well, this. Jump challenge, that seems easy enough. Jump, oh. What's gonna happen if I... Okay. Okay, I'm trying one more time. I kinda did it. But I gotta do it without dying. Are you gonna make it? Mm-hmm. That's it. Look, I made it enough. I made it enough. Seven. Okay. So there's motorcycle guy going to. That's God. Okay. Okay. It's the menu. Dodge the mine, so I just gotta dodge the mine. This one's easy enough. How do you cheat with Timmy? What could Timmy possibly do? Okay. Okay, that's what Timmy. So I guess Timmy could like. Guess I just gotta. You ain't getting no faster. You killed Timmy. Lava fluid. This is gonna be. There's no way I'm using this lava. That was just like a limit. I was just testing if the lava was hot. Yep. Oh shoot. No, it was just another test. It was just to see if the lava was like getting cooler on that side. One more time, one more time. No, this time I'm gonna be good. Hmm. Mm. Sopper Madness. There's no Arthur comment. That's how you know it's gonna be certain. Oh. Well, my mayonnaise. Huh? My baguette. I gotta stick about a can of soup though. No. I can't lose all my produce. Okay, I'm gonna try to beat this without losing any produce. Oh god. I can't lose my soda. Somehow I can't beat this. I'm gonna try to beat this without losing anything. But, I'm trying not to lose a single thing. No. You asked for it. But I just had an idea. I can't lose any produce if it's all on me. Oh. Yup. I haven't lose any produce yet. Still haven't lost the produce, Dave. I killed them all by and I didn't lose any produce, but just got a win this time. So no. My beans. Oh, yeah, those are sausages. Those have those like big large kidney beans. Okay. I wonder what would happen if I like mayonnaise. You'll be avenged, Mayo. Oh. No, my band-aids. That isn't produce. So like that's okay. And the rule was I can't use any produce. It has to be pretty safe. I'm definitely not using produce. Never mind. Okay, if I can try to get him stabbed. That'll work out. I don't know, lost all my produce. Now I gotta go full John Wick barrel belt. And I ain't gonna die at all. Not even gonna lose a limb. Not even gonna die. Okay. I know where everybody is now. Now I won't lose any produce. No, I lost produce. Okay. Screw it. Wait, I wonder. What if instead of just going that, I go like, then I'll let go, okay? But I hold on to it, okay? Okay. All in the crack, okay. My produce will be safe. Besides my fruit gummies. Okay. Yeah, I kinda know what to do now though. That's not the plan. Wait, I wonder. She's better fall out. Jump. Oh! Right in the Patucci. Okay. Twist my head, okay. I'm gonna jump, and then that should get me get a jump cut for this dude, okay? Jump on him. I still my produce, but I still got it. I still got my juice, okay? No, not juice, but like y'all get it. And boom, dead, okay. I just gotta go hella fast, okay? Just gotta go fast. Don't lose my sausages. Can't lose my. But come on, I thought Truly Trash Team was better at this. Just gotta go fast. Need for Speed 2. This is the remake of the second one. Like, it was a Need for Speed 2, but this is Need for Speed 2. You know? The second Need for Speed 2. Okay, I'm about to win. About to win. Yes. Oh. No. I gotta get over there. I cannot let my head get smashed. No. That is a win. That is a win. That is a win. That is a win. What if I type in Sans? Sans. There's an actual Sans battle in Happy Wheels. No way. Oh, Sans left. Oh no. What the hell? No, if I just like back up, okay. And I could just like jump like this. Oh my god. Seems just like unbeatable. Okay. I'm just gonna do Sans. You know it's good when the S is capitalized and the N is capitalized, but nothing else is. Let's see how this looks. I I gotta go all the way back. My head is just like. Okay, I gotta do one more. Let's do it. I'm gonna type in what if I type in Goku? I'm just gonna type in Goku. See what pops up. You never know what's gonna pop up with Goku. If it's a pogo fight, I'm gonna use Pogo Man. What's that? Comet. At this time. Ooh. Okay, I'm passing better days. You too. Okay. I gotta like do full tilt. I'm Vegeta. Goku is to mad. I don't know what happened to him. What happened if I hit you though? Cause I don't look like how we good it. Yeah, you don't look like Vegeta either. That wasn't even Goku. There was no Goku in it. Gokus don't move. So what if I do move? Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Clap my wings like a bit. Okay, what if I type in fight? WWE actually. WWE. Wrestle. Wrestling. So just having wrestle. Is that even how you spell wrestle? Yeah. WrestleMania. Let's see what is up next. Am I just like here? This ain't even wrestling. This is just pain. Okay, WrestleMania. This one gotta be good. Okay. So I think the way I win is I just gotta be able to get up, you know. Okay, if I go inhale and I have a capture card. Is that technically me? I could play like PS5 or Switch on stream. I don't know how to use a capture card though. Gotta get down. Okay. Boom. And then if I hop up, okay, I just gotta like spin and spin. Okay, and then when I get up, fully, yep, and then oh no, wow. As soon as I get to the position that I want, okay. What if I just like go like this? Screw Happy Wheels, like Happy Wheels. I'm saying that's nostalgic. Y'all wanna watch Overflow? I mean, honestly, it was a 10 out. Jacking and I had pencil. Yoink. Yoink. Will they let you watch Overflow on stream? Sometimes it's forced by friends to watch Overflow. I'm looking at the Discord that I'm in, and honestly, I don't know how to feel. Okay. Since we're kind of deep into the stream, I've been streaming for about how long? An hour and 30 minutes, almost like an hour and 40 minutes. I don't know. What should we do? Who is TJ Giffo do? Whatever the name is. Hello. I know it just finds something to play. I'm so hungry. I'm going to sustenance. Okay. I'm tired, y'all. We can watch some YouTube actually. Let's watch some YouTube. What's this nice big video? No? Nice big. I lay down. Let's just down. We're gonna Family Guy iceberg.
The Family Guy Iceberg Explained. Sup guys, Book of Alice here once again. In this video, we will be going over the Family Guy iceberg as you guys requested. I'm going to be honest here, some of the entries on this iceberg are a bit ridiculous and parody other iceberg memes, while other entries are legitimately interesting. Either way, I'll be covering every entry on the iceberg just to satisfy people's curiosity. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. I post weekly and it really helps my channel grow. With everything out of the way, let's begin and see how deep the Family Guy iceberg truly goes. It's a TV show within a TV show. This entry is referring to the episode Pa Took a Pee, in which Angela, Peter Griffin's work supervisor, dies, and
Oh shoot.
Hey, you want to know where my house is?
I bet somebody's gonna be killer that have Steve unlocked. But like I'm poor. God, you have to do with it.
The Family Guy iceberg explained. Sup guys, Book of Alice
Such a
here
fun
once again.
town.
In this video, we will be going over the Family Guy iceberg as you guys requested. I'm going to be honest here, some of the entries on this iceberg are a bit ridiculous and parody other iceberg memes, while other entries are legitimately interesting. Either way, I'll be covering every entry on the iceberg, just to satisfy people's curiosity. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't. I post weekly and it really helps my channel grow. With everything out of the way, let's begin and see how deep the Family Guy iceberg truly goes. It's a TV show within a TV show. This entry is referring to the episode Pa Took a Pee, in which Angela, Peter Griffin's work supervisor, dies and two new bosses are hired at the brewery. Peter shows his disapproval of the two new bosses with no apparent reason. That is, until he is subsequently demoted and forced to wear a red flag everywhere he goes, working as a signal to the other employees that the recycling bin is coming through. He is then bombarded by cans and coffee cups as he walks by the cubicles. Instead of having a self-aware cutaway scene as Peter usually does, it is replaced by a brief cameo of the Simpsons characters Mr. Burns and Smithers, strangely enough, with Mr. Burns showing interest in Peter's perseverance, and Smithers informing him that it's just a character from another show. This one also covers the same universe as Simpsons and Futurama entry. There are multiple crossovers between the two television shows, confirming that the Simpsons and Griffins live within the same universe. There are also compilations of Futurama references within the Simpsons, and even a comic if you consider that canon. Are all three shows in the same universe? Could Family Guy be a reality television show in the Simpsons world? Who knows? Stewie created the universe. This entry is referring to the episode in which Stewie goes back in time to embarrass Brian. While fighting over the time machine control panel, they accidentally hit the wrong buttons and go all the way back to before the inception of the universe itself, appearing in a void of nothingness outside the space-time continuum. In order to go back to the original timeline, Stewie has to overpower his time machine enough for it to blow up and work. When he overpowers his machine, it creates a Big Bang, alluding to Stewie being the creator of the universe itself through the machine blowing up. If you don't know what the Big Bang is, in short, it's described as the hypothesis that states that all of the current and past matter in the universe came into existence at one time, roughly 13.8 billion years ago. At this time, all matter was compacted into a very small ball within an infinite density and intense heat called a singularity. Suddenly, the singularity began expanding and the universe as we know it began. Stewie is gay. This is referencing the multiple scenes in the show in which Stewie displays homosexual tendencies. He enjoys looking at naked men. He hints that he has weird desires for Brian and even describes himself as possibly homosexual. Seth MacFarlane, the creator of Family Guy, even stated, Stewie will be gay or a very unhappy, repressed heterosexual. It also explains why he's so hellbent on killing his mother, Lois, and taking over the world. He has a lot of pent-up aggression, which comes from confusion and uncertainty about his orientation. There was even going to be an episode that was going to revolve around Stewie coming out of the closet, but it only went as far as the script phase. Same universe as American Dad. This one explains itself. There are numerous crossovers and it's produced by the same person. If you don't know, it's Seth MacFarlane. Stewie is Meg's son. Okay, so this one was pretty hard to find, but apparently the theory goes that an ex-boyfriend of Meg's got her pregnant before very conveniently skipping town. With the help of Brian, Lois covered the whole thing up by pretending that she was the one that was pregnant, and when Stewie was born, she passed him off as her son, and not Meg's. The only people that know this truth are Lois, Brian, and Meg. Peter is too dumb to figure it out, and they could have easily convinced Chris that it was something else, and he would have simply believed them. Whenever Lois is shown giving birth to Stewie, it's in cutaway scenes from Stewie's perspective. We never actually see it happen. Stewie would logically assume that the woman who they claim is his mother. Another piece of evidence in support is the episode Partial Terms of Endearment. In this episode, we get a strange scene in which Lois states, "Come on, Meg, it was hard enough on your body when you gave birth to Stewie." She then nervously laughs and says that she was just joking. Meg's baby. This is in reference to one of the episodes in the series in which we see a baby crawling out of Meg's locker. Meg proceeds to throw her book at it and states, "What are you doing out of your box?" revealing that she had a baby and is now hiding it from her family and friends. This bit was pretty dark for me, not gonna lie. Quagmire is bisexual. There was a lot of results for Peter as bisexual, but couldn't find much for Quagmire. This is probably related to the episode where Quagmire asks Peter to sleep with him in order to prove to his wife that he's gay, due to Quagmire wanting a divorce. Though in the episode, Quagmire is the reluctant one, while Peter seems to actually want to sleep with Quagmire. It's a pretty funny episode overall. Quagmire's dad at least 70 plus years old. Okay, so I knew about Quagmire's dad from the episode in which he sleeps with Brian, but I didn't know about the whole age thing. Apparently an episode reveals Ida Davis, Quagmire's dad / mom, you'll get it if you watch the episode, is pretty old. A theory states, I did some research and the first time Dan Quagmire appeared on the show was in season 8, which was in 2010 and he was around 61 years old, which means today Ida Davis is 70 years old. Glenn Quagmire is 61 years old at the moment, meaning Dan Quagmire got Glenn when he was 9 years old. Chris is adopted. Peter has suggested that Chris was adopted in the past, or at least hinting some sort of idea revolving adoption. In the 17th season, Peter stated that he came across Lois's gun in Chris's adoption paper, which means he was either adopted or thought of being put up for adoption by Peter and Lois at some point. The Boom is canon. The Boom is an episode featuring the Griffin family after a nuclear holocaust, saving themselves by hiding in the basement. All this due to Y2K on New Year's Eve. The family then travels in search of food and eventually decides to establish a town around a Twinkie factory. Peter then takes over the town, establishing himself as mayor, but eventually becomes power hungry and is overthrown. The episode ends with a live-action parody of Dallas, in which Pat Ewing, Victoria Principal, clad in a blue silk nightgown, wakes up and tells her husband Bobby, which is Patrick Duffy, about a dream she had of a strange episode of Family Guy. Bobby comforts her, but pauses and then asks what Family Guy is, and the two turn and look into confusion in the camera. It's a pretty strange episode, and though not officially considered canon, some believe that it actually is. Lois is having an affair. In one of the episodes, we get a brief and subtle cameo from Lois. It occurs when Quagmire runs out of the Drunken Clam, as his nose caught scent of what turns out to be a new massage parlor that opened in town. As Peter, Joe, and Cleveland walk after Quagmire, the shot opens up to reveal Lois looking incognito in some pretty big sunglasses, coming back from some kind of romantic rendezvous with a man she's apparently having an affair with. What do you guys think? Super Mario and the Scooby-Doo gang are real in the McFarlane universe. This one explains itself and is verified by the multiple clips of animations Seth MacFarlane has produced, also by the brief cameos of Mario and the Scooby-Doo gang in the Family Guy series. Bob's Burgers exists in Chris's imagination. This theory comes from a clip from a Family Guy episode in which Chris's parents are called into his school because of his poor academic performance. His principal then shows them a drawing Chris made and describes it as a horrendous advanced art project, holding a picture of Bob from Bob's Burgers, an American animated sitcom created by Fox. The series centers on the Belcher family, parents Bob, Linda, and their children, who run a hamburger restaurant. The entry suggests that the Bob's Burgers universe all exists in Chris's mind. Now let's move on to the shallow waters. Peter is a closeted homosexual. This theory piggybacks off of the episode in which Peter has either alluded that he's a homosexual, or specifically the one where he takes the gay gene injection, which just straight up turns him gay. In the episode, he quickly finds himself a boyfriend and leaves his family willingly. He doesn't make any fuss nor annoys his boyfriend like he does to Lois, making some believe that he has been homosexual all along. What do you guys think? Ernie fights Peter because he wants Lois. Ernie is a giant chicken that always seems to get into scuffles with Peter. He usually interjects scenes and gets into a long-winded fight with Peter, almost always ending in Peter winning. The whole feud began with Ernie giving Peter an expired coupon as revealed in the episode The Boom. However, in the Meeting the Quagmires episode, Griffin's meddling in his past allows him to accidentally punch Ernie while dancing at Enchanted Under the Sea. This entry on the iceberg alludes to the idea that the only reason Ernie fights Peter is because he wants Lois, though I can't find any evidence of this. Drop it in the comments if you have any clips. Meg is a Russian spy. This is referring to an episode in which Meg is killed and replaced by a Russian clone. We get confirmation that she's a spy because of a scene that comes on of Meg speaking Russian on the phone to what seems to be a spy agency from Russia. From that point on, we can only guess that the Meg that we see now is a Russian spy. Mayor West acting crazy. Mayor West has always been a strange paranoid character, believing that a group of people are always following him. He does illogical stuff and acts crazy randomly throughout the series. He's the outcast of the city, but somehow he is still mayor. Definitely one of my favorite characters in the series though. Chris is not human. This may be related to a cutaway scene depicting Chris as an alien for a bit, but I'm not entirely sure. That aside, there's also a cutaway scene
Let him
in which
be the
Meg is
Lego.
portrayed as an alien, which is pretty creepy to me.
I mean, wasn't there somebody he's like a Lego dude?
They represented the 7 deadly sins. This one explains itself, and I'll go over how each character represents the 7 deadly sins. Ernie the giant chicken represents wrath, Stewie is supposed to represent greed, Chris represents sloth, Tom Tucker represents pride, Quagmire represents lust, Brian represents envy, and Peter represents gluttony. Baba Booey. This is just referencing a scene in which Peter says Baba Booey, a saying that I might add has become popular on TikTok recently. Take a look.
Baba Booey, Howard Stern's penis, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Peter is a literal psychopath. The first season of Family Guy displays an incompetent dad who was prone to mistakes, but usually means well towards his family. But as the seasons have progressed, we begin to see a complete change in his character, almost going out of his way to make sketchy decisions. Like when he's trying to get married to his son for an inheritance, and he's also seen blowing up hospitals and pimping out his wife and daughter in random sketches. He's constantly stripping nude and getting drunk with disregard of those around him. Though most think it's just gotten more wilder over the years to entertain viewers, some believe that it's truly part of his character development. Baby Gone Wild. I have no idea what this is referring to. I'm searching it up on Google right now and YouTube, but all I'm getting back is strange YouTube videos. If you know anything about this, leave a comment, I guess. Peter knows about Herbert's obsession with Chris. So if you don't know, Herbert is basically the neighborhood pervert, being creepy towards anyone younger than 18. He for some reason really likes Chris and is constantly trying to get with him, with Chris being unaware of his advances. This entry proposes the idea that Peter knows about Herbert's attraction to Chris, which I couldn't find much about other than a clip of Chris and Peter fighting over Mr. Herbert's affection, still being oblivious to his pedophilic behavior. Everyone died after season 5. This legitimately could just be a meme placed in here to make the Abyss sound creepier, or I'm just completely oblivious. But I couldn't find anything on this. The last episode of season 5 was the episode Meet the Quagmires, but that episode just features Peter after he goes back in time in order to live the single life a little bit longer before he meets his future wife, which we know now as Lois. This causes Quagmire to make his own move on Lois, and they ultimately end up marrying and having children. Peter is then horrified by this alternative timeline and resolves it by trying to go back in time and set things right. Kind of, because there's a brief cameo of someone you might know, though some people have noticed that the characteristics in the cast changed after season 5 and found it a little bit strange. Meg's suicide. This entry is in reference to a brief bit in an episode in which Peter puts Dewey to bed and makes sure everyone's safe asleep. That is until he gets to Meg's room and she's missing. And, well, watch this.
Good night, Stewie. Good night, Chris. Good night, Meg.
It's a pretty dark joke even for Family Guy. The Seinfeld Paradox. This one literally has nothing to do with Family Guy, but so far this is my favorite entry. I mean, watch it yourself. It's a pretty trippy video and the music is great. Though it may be poking fun about the Family Guy series, saying that basically the show's about nothing and mainly just filler. Quahog is a black ethno-state. According to Wikipedia, black nationalism is a type of nationalism or pan-nationalism which espouses the belief that black nationalist activism revolves around social, political, and economic empowerment of black communities and people, especially to resist assimilation into white culture. I don't know how this entry has anything to do with Family Guy, because I couldn't find any evidence of this, and I feel like this iceberg is spiraling out of control at the moment, though we have some interesting entries coming up. This might be relating to all the times hell is mentioned in the show. What the hell is kind of a catchphrase at this point. There's also this one unsettling scene. FYI, don't watch this at night.
And get some
Ain't that shit? Oh, but Brian on like just say. This is like a genius shit.
This scene has to be the creepiest animation I've seen in a while. The original plot, do not research. Well, you know what, I did, and it's not that bad. The Life of Larry and Steve are two animated short films created by Seth MacFarlane in the mid-1990s that eventually led to the development of the animated sitcom Family Guy as we know today. MacFarlane originally created The Life of Larry as a thesis film in 1995 while studying at the Rhode Island School of Design. The animation was completely different, though I enjoyed it, and I definitely think it was harder to animate back then. Seth MacFarlane is based. You know what, this isn't even a theory or anything, but I agree Seth MacFarlane is based, and I love all his productions. The Quagmire Apparition. This is a video right here on YouTube. If you read the description, it says every copy of the Family Guy video game is personalized, which is a meme among icebergs if you don't know. Joe can actually walk. This is referencing the multiple times in the series where Joe is seen walking and not sitting on his wheelchair as he usually does, portrayed as a paraplegic in the show. Brian is the second coming of Christ. I don't want to offend anyone, but there's a cutscene in one of the episodes in which Peter says, "I've been looking forward to this moment more than the second coming of Jesus." And a cutscene occurs, depicting a short Jesus with a voice similar to that of Brian's voice. Also to note that he's around the same height as Brian himself, though this might also just be a joke entry. Peter is the CEO of Hot Wheels. This theory might come from the fact that Peter Griffin is really into Hot Wheels for some reason, having his own Hot Wheel collection, though there's really not much there. Every episode of Family Guy is personalized. This one's clearly a joke and based off of the multiple iceberg entries where they put the every episode of so-and-so is personalized or every video game copy of so-and-so is personalized at the bottom of the iceberg. It's all in Stewie's imagination.
Yeah, like Mario 64.
Referencing the theory that everything in the show, from the most wild scenes to the most mundane things, are all part of Stewie's imagination, being that he is only a toddler. He interprets the world from his limited knowledge, explaining why dogs can talk in the show. It also explains how he can only communicate with other toddlers and dogs but not with older humans, as well as his elaborate laboratories he has and science experiments he conducts. The entire show seen through Stewie's perspective, though there are things that contradict this theory and it's only a theory. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed. I'm currently working on some really interesting iceberg videos and would love for people to see them. Other than that, thanks for watching. Later.
Okay. That was a nice video. That was nice. What's next? I need to end this off. That's what's going on with the stream thing. Yo. We're gonna do the South Park Iceberg, because why not?
The South Park Iceberg Explained. Hello everyone, Book of Alice here. South Park was one of those shows I had to watch behind my parents' back, as they had tons of lewd humor and inappropriate jokes that most children wouldn't get, or at least I wouldn't get growing up super religious and being a church kid. The first episode aired on August 13th, 1997, and still airs to this day as of July 2021. So without further ado, let's get into the South Park Iceberg and see what it's got to offer. Kenny dies in nearly every episode. This entry is pretty self-explanatory. Prior to season 6, Kenny died in almost every episode, but not in all of them. The nature of the deaths were often gruesome and portrayed in a comically absurd fashion, and usually followed by Stan and Kyle respectively yelling, "Oh my god, they've killed Kenny, you bastards." Shortly afterwards, rats would commonly appear and begin picking at the corpse, though in the following episode, Kenny would reappear alive and well, usually without any explanation. In the season 5 episode titled Kenny Dies, the producers planned on killing off the character for good, replacing him with Butters, but he reappears in season 6 nonchalant. Mormon controversy. All About Mormons is the 12th episode of the 7th season. The episode revolves around the religion and culture of Mormons, as a Mormon family moves to the town of South Park and influences the beliefs of the family of the character Stan. The story of Joseph Smith's founding of Mormonism and the origin of the Book of Mormon is told through a number of comedic 19th century flashbacks. The show asserts the flaws in the religion's founding, which especially concerns Stan. Stan ends up shouting at the Mormons that they're ridiculous for believing in it without any proof. They smile patiently and explain to him that it's a matter of faith, while Stan argues that it should be a matter of empirical evidence. The episode received positive reviews from television critics, although some Mormons didn't take so kindly to it, as it did for the most part portray the correct historical events, but made fun of those who believed in it, as the background music was a choir singing the lyrics "Dum Dum Dum Dum" during the 19th century flashbacks, portraying the history of the Book of Mormon. Exploshi Animation. This entry is referring to the animated short created by YouTuber Exploshi. It depicts Cartman in a CGI model ordering a pizza with thick crust flavors, tomato delicious, and cheese of the dinner, whatever that means. Sadly, the pizza spot that he tried to order from doesn't sell that, which triggers him to teleport to the shop and eat the worker, who he turned into a pizza. The style of the video is retro, using a VHS filter and elevator music from the 90s, which gives it this eerie feeling. I honestly loved this short. Go check it out and her other works as well. Canada wall references. The Canadian Wall is a wall built by Canadians to keep Americans from entering Canada in the South Park series. It appears in the season 19 episode, Where My Country Gone. Herbert Garrison tries unsuccessfully to enter Canada so he can complain about all the refugees flooding South Park, but is stopped by a Canadian border wall guard who brags about how cool it is in Canada and that he's missing out, but simply doesn't let him in. The wall also appears in South Park's The Fractured Butthole game, the entire wall concept being a joke based on Trump's border wall endeavor in the beginning of his presidency. Mr. Hanky. Mr. Hanky is a sentient, jolly piece of feces and the former Christmas deity of South Park, taking the place of others such as Frosty or Rudolph. On Christmas, he comes to visit those who have a lot of high fibers in their diets. Prior to being relocated to the town of Springfield from The Simpsons, Mr. Hanky resided in the sewers beneath South Park. Mr. Hanky was inspired by an event that happened to Trey Parker as a child. He had the habit of not flushing the toilet. Because of this, Trey's dad told him that if he didn't flush the toilet, Mr. Hanky would come out and eat him. Matt and Trey. The animated sitcom was created by Trey Parker and Matt Stone. Parker and Stone both met in film class at the University of Colorado in 1992 and discovered a shared love of Monty Python, which they often cite as one of their primary inspirations. Parker and Stone voice most of the male characters in the series, and often swap specific characters they voice with one another. When voicing child characters, the pitch is altered in post-production to make the voice sound more like that of a 4th grader. Let's move on to the shallow waters. The Spirit of Christmas, both shorts. Parker and Stone developed South Park from 2 animated shorts, both titled The Spirit of Christmas. The second short became one of the first internet viral videos, ultimately leading to South Park's production. To differentiate the two, they are often referred to as Jesus vs. Frosty, produced in 1992, and Jesus vs. Santa, produced in 1995. The first short was noticeably low budget, and the audio wasn't all that great. It presented itself as a comedic Christmas special parody. Also, Cartman is named Kenny in this short, and he's even killed as well, though other Kenny doesn't escape death either, as he's also killed unexpectedly, which is pretty hilarious. Simpsons/Family Guy hate. The writers for South Park pretty much find Family Guy to be bland and generic, reusing the same jokes with whatever's popular at the time. And this opinion is reflected in the episode Cartoon Wars, where a manatee is seen creating the jokes for Family Guy by choosing random words and creating a sentence, poking fun at their fill-in-the-blank style jokes. As for The Simpsons, they for the most part are free of being criticized for their humor, and are instead blamed for taking all the good ideas for adult animated cartoons, as they have been around for a really long time, so much so that they created an entire episode on the subject matter, titled The Simpsons Already Did It, in which the gang fails to come up with any original ideas that The Simpsons hasn't already done. Canadians. Canadians in the series are very easy to distinguish, as they are portrayed as having oval-shaped, flappy Pac-Man-like heads with black beady eyes. The rest of their body layout is very rectangular and straight, and in some episodes individuals are depicted as wearing shirts with their first name in the front. Terrence and Phillip being the most prominent Canadian characters in the series, as they are the stars of the popular television show that the kids watch. Why Schiff was killed off. Schiff was a reoccurring character in South Park. He was most famous for being the South Park Elementary cafeteria chef and the boys' go-to guy for advice, which would often result into him breaking into songs about sex. He made his first debut in the season 1 episode Cartman Gets an Anal Probe and was a character in the show ever since, until he was killed off in the season 10 episode The Return of Schiff, following controversy with Isaac Hayes, the character's voice actor, who left the series after the episode Trapped in the Closet aired, due to its negative portrayal of Scientology. But this was a mystery, as someone was said to have quit on his behalf. Hayes' son would go on to say that the decision to leave the show was made by Hayes' Scientologist entourage, and that it was made after Hayes suffered a stroke, leaving him vulnerable to outside influence and unable to make decisions on his own. Sadly, he was left financially struggling because of the decision. Towley fandom. Towley is a talking towel who was genetically engineered by Tynacorp in order to allow him to make people as dry as necessary, depending on the situation. He first appeared in the season 5 episode Towley. He's usually seen either appearing out of nowhere to give towel advice to the citizens of South Park, or simply getting high. Although the creators of South Park intentionally made Towley a terrible character, he gained a huge amount of popularity, especially amongst stoners. So much so that in April of 2021, Adidas collaborated with South Park to celebrate 420, creating a pair of Campus 80 shoes starring Towley. The pair of shoes have Towley's eyes in the front of the tongues, changing colors when exposed to UV sunlight, making him look high. The back of the tongues contain a pocket and memorable quotes from the show, like "Don't forget to bring a towel" and "I have no idea what's going on." They also sell shirts and lawn decorations of the character, so yeah, he's got a fan base. Live action South Park. This may be referring to the YouTube video by Flabber, The Real South Park, in which the class takes a field trip to Europe, specifically Amsterdam, to visit the Red Light District. All the characters are in costume and Kenny dies at the end, just like the series, so it's pretty accurate in its portrayal of the kids, closing with a Comedy Central bumper. South Park games. I guess this is referring to all the games in general, whether it be Flash, PC, or console games. The list is pretty extensive, as there are a lot of official and non-official games based on the series. The first game was pretty dope. You could choose a character and throw snowballs at giant turkeys, although the creators didn't like it so much. South Park Rally looked pretty dope as well. It was a Mario Kart type game where you could choose a character and play against your friends. And then of course there are the really popular games like Stick of Truth and The Fractured Butthole, which tons of popular YouTubers played. Let's move on to the depths. Cartman's real dad. Leanne Cartman is the mother of Eric Cartman. In the episode Cartman's Mom is Still a Dirty Slut, it was stated that Leanne Cartman was a hermaphrodite, meaning that she had both male and female sexual organs, and that years ago, during the drunken barn dance, she proceeded to have sex with a series of men and women, after it was revealed that Leanne was Cartman's father and mother, due to the fact that she was a hermaphrodite. However, in the episode 200, Eric Cartman and Mitch Connor go to Mr. Garrison and Mr. Hat, who revealed that the series of events in Cartman's Mom is Still a Dirty Slut were all fabricated, and that the results of the paternity test were tampered with. However, the identity of the father was not told until the episode 201, in which Cartman was captured by his arch foe Scott Tinnerman, who then revealed that Leanne was not a hermaphrodite at all, and that Cartman's real father was Scott's own father, Jack Tinnerman, a player for the Denver Broncos. This leads us to the next entry. Cartman cooked his own dad. Scott Tinnerman Must Die is the 4th episode of Season 5. After the other boys explain to Cartman that pubes don't count unless you grow your own, Cartman realizes that he's been tricked by the school bully, Scott Tinnerman, who sold him a bag of his own pubes. This infuriates Cartman, whose only goal is to get back at him even harder, devising a plan that involves setting up a chili contest, getting Scott's parents killed, dismembering their bodies, and cooking them into chili, which is then fed to Scott himself. Realizing that Cartman really did just make him eat his own parents in a bowl of chili, Scott begins screaming and vomits. Though this episode was pretty dark, I consider it as one of the best and creative ones. Jared Has AIDS banned episode. This one is a bit of a mystery. People remember it being banned temporarily after its initial premiere, with reruns not being allowed up until the early 2010s due to its vast amount of AIDS jokes, though in certain areas of the United States, people remember watching reruns of the episode. And this channel, Frederator Video, has the fact included in their script, so there's got to be some sort of truth to it. So it left me rather confused. Was this episode really banned, or is it just a myth? My investigation led me nowhere at first, until I stumbled across this Reddit thread that contained a link to a super old forum from 2008 that said that it was either initially banned due to the AIDS jokes or the strange ending depicting Butters being abused. Alien Easter eggs. The visitors, which are commonly seen throughout the series, are the aliens who came to Earth and gave Eric Cartman an anal probe in the pilot episode. South Park's animators have hidden visitors in many episodes ever since then, although the frequency has decreased as the series has progressed. Kenny Unhooded. I guess this is simply referencing the scenes in which Kenny is depicted without a hood, also meaning that we get to hear his unmuffled voice, first seen in South Park's Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, as well as in other episodes in the series. 1998 Halloween Lost Media. A Mother's Courage was an online South Park animation from Halloween of 1998, created using the now defunct web producer. The cartoon is about Kyle, Stan, and Kenny carving a pumpkin to look like Lou Diamond Phillips, while Cartman eats an entire bag of candy corn, leading him to puke. It features the voices of Trey Parker and Matt Stone. However, because Macromedia Flash became the main animation software for the series, it was later taken down and redone in comic form. The short was forgotten about for years and was considered lost media until it was uploaded by a YouTuber named Manus. Kenny was real. Kenny is most famous for dying in almost every episode in the first 5 seasons of South Park. He is also easily recognizable for almost always wearing an orange parka, which muffles his speech. Like many of South Park's characters, Kenny is based on a real person, in this case a childhood friend of Trey Parker's, also named Kenny. In a 2000 interview, Trey said that the real-life Kenny was the poorest kid in the neighborhood and always wore an orange parka that made it difficult for anyone to understand what he was saying. Trey also stated that Kenny would skip school from time to time, causing the others to jokingly say that he had died, and a few days later, he would join his classmates and attend school once again, just like Kenny does in the series. Funny enough, I too had a childhood friend who used to wear a giant parka, but his was black and he was also Cuban, so we couldn't understand what he was saying for the most part as his accent was heavy. And just like Trey, we would often joke that he died due to him not attending school regularly. The similarities were uncanny. Saddam Hussein torture. It was rumored by US soldiers that the real Saddam Hussein was shown the film South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut while on trial for genocide / crimes against humanity as a form of torture, though it may have had the opposite effect. To back it up furthermore, South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone say that they were sent a signed copy of Saddam Hussein's picture after the deposed Iraqi dictator was shown their film in jail, finding it funny that the movie depicts him as the boyfriend of Satan. Though I don't know how much truth there is to all of this. Let me know in the comments. Let's move on to The Abyss. Deleted fire scene. An Elephant Makes Love to a Pig is the 5th episode of season 1. In the initial airing of the episode, there is a brief scene where Shelly repeatedly lights Stan on fire with matches, putting him out with water between each lighting. Shortly after, Comedy Central removed the scene for fear that the show would come under the same scrutiny that Beavis and Butthead did in 1993, after a little boy set his trailer on fire, killing his 2-year-old sister, and the cartoon was blamed. Episodes of the show were altered to remove scenes of characters playing with or mentioning fire. The unedited scene has never been re-released on home video or streaming services. That's why in some copies of the episode, there's an unexplained puddle of water underneath Stan, though in some high-definition versions of the episode later made available for online streaming, the puddle was removed completely. Unaired pilot. The unaired pilot is the original version of Cartman Gets an Anal Probe, with about 4 minutes of extra footage that weren't included. While this version never aired on television, it was re-released onto DVD in 2003 via the complete second season. The unaired pilot had a few more scenes than the final production, including a scene depicting Pip hitting his head against a swing set and almost bleeding out, which may be one of the reasons why the original was altered, as it was a bit unsettling, though it turns out that he's okay at the end of the episode, so maybe not. The real South Park. South Park was based on the Colorado basin of the same name, where a lot of paranormal things are said to have happened, from Bigfoot sightings to cattle mutilations. The area is raveled in folklore. Cartman's missing sister and father. In one of the deleted scenes of the pilot, we see what seems to be Cartman's father and sister sitting at the dinner table, as well as them in a picture frame, behind his mom. There are absolutely no other instances in the series where these two characters are ever seen again. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Muhammad is the religious prophet of the Muslim faith who is depicted as a member of the Super Best Friends in the animated series, alongside other religious figures. The new rule of him not being able to be shown at all is mentioned in the episode 200. Super Best Friends is the only episode to ever air him uncensored in a non-cameo role. As a result of the episode 200, Trey Parker and Matt Stone were threatened by a radical Islamic website, revolutionmuslim.com, for including an image of Prophet Muhammad in disguise, though the website stated that they didn't want to pose any violent threat. Nambla. Cartman joins Nambla as the 5th episode of Season 4. In the episode, Cartman decides to seek friendship using the internet and finds an older man who is more than willing to be his friend, aka the older man is a predator, part of the North American Man-Boy Love Association. On his quest to make friends with older guys, he befriends Mr. Hammerhead, who turns out to be Mr. Garrison, his 3rd grade teacher. So yeah, he's basically a child predator working in a school. Tiger Woods 99 pulled. This is referencing an Easter egg of sorts inside of the PlayStation version of the game Tiger Woods 99 PGA Tour. The Easter egg was the short original pilot of Jesus vs. Santa from South Park. It was accessed by placing the PlayStation disc inside of a PC and then going through the files. This caused a lot of backlash from the public as the game was rated E for everyone, but the South Park pilot was filled with profanity, forcing them to pull the game from public shelves, reissuing the game without the South Park pilot. Scientology controversy. Trapped in a Closet is an episode that generated significant controversy. Tom Cruise, a member of the church who is portrayed in the episode, reportedly threatened to back out of his promotional obligations for Paramount Pictures if it repeatedly aired. In the episode, Stan joins Scientology in an attempt to find something fun and free. After the discovery of his surprisingly high Thetan levels, he's recognized as the reincarnation of L. Ron Hubbard, the founder of the church. After subtly insulting Tom Cruise, Tom locks himself inside of a closet and refuses to come out, a commentary on his sexuality. The episode offended both the church and Tom Cruise, so much so that the Church of Scientology hired private investigators to stalk both Trey and Matt in the attempt to catch them slipping up, though they failed to capture anything scandalous. If you've watched this far into the video, I love you, shout out to you. I'm hungry now, I'm gonna go, bye, see you next week or the week after that.
Iceberg chart videos have been a hot topic on YouTube for quite a while now, and ever since I first started getting into Lost Media, I've wanted to do one of my own. But what would the topic be? Lost Media, obviously. So I got to work on an iceberg. But then it hit me. I couldn't do this alone. It would be more fun with a partner or 2, or 10. So I enlisted some friends to help me out. A real who's who of Lost Media YouTubers. So without any further ado, we proudly present to you the ultimate lost media iceberg.
A Day with SpongeBob. A Day with SpongeBob is a fake mockumentary, quote-unquote, created by the company Regal Films. The film first showed up to the public under an Amazon listing for the fake movie, which, by the way, is still up at the time of writing this. Right away from the cover of this DVD, you can already tell something is off. That's clearly not SpongeBob's Pineapple, there's these fake reviews, there's this stock photo kid who can somehow breathe underwater, it's just a whole case on its own. Well, when this started to grab more and more attention from people just browsing Amazon, a search was made and people began to try to track down this anomaly. That inevitably led down a strange rabbit hole with twists and turns, new friends, and crazy theories like money laundering. Just your average day with SpongeBob, huh? In the end, people were able to track down Lorenzo Hawley, a man who is supposedly behind this film, as well as someone who called themselves Mr. Orange, who debunked any sort of strange theory that came their way. Apparently, they are still looking to produce this movie with money from crowdfunding, however, its progress is unknown. The Crackmaster. Cracks, also known as The Crackmaster, was a short animated segment which aired on Sesame Street in 1975. If you're familiar with Sesame Street, you know that some of those early animated segments are a little odd. This short is no different, and now that it's been found, you can kind of see why. It starts off as a girl laying in bed looking up at the cracks on her wall. She sees animals in the cracks and starts to befriend them. My favorite is Crack Camel, thanks for asking. So this girl and the crack animals go to make a new friend, the Crack Master, who's really angry for some reason. But it's okay because he literally just dies right there, literally just breaks into pieces. You'd think this would be some sort of horrific experience for the animals, but they just kind of continue along, ignoring that the Crack Master just died. Yeah. In 2008, John Armand received a copy of the short after being lost since its last air date, which was May 2nd, 1980, although it did air on the Mexican-Spanish Sesame Street Plaza Sésamo, I really hope I'm saying that right, in the mid-90s. While Armand had the copy, and although he was forbidden from releasing it, he did show the short to people in person, just never releasing it online. However, in 2013, Lost Media Wiki founder Dykate was sent a copy by an anonymous source, and has since been posted online. It's still up for public viewing, by the way, so if you're looking for a trip, why don't you go check out those cracks. Subway Perfection ad. The Subway Perfection ad is one of the strangest pieces of lost media that, at first glance, sounds like a fake rumor. Honestly, when you hear of a biblical Subway ad where a bald guy hungers for perfection, what do you think of? Yeah, exactly. So this piece of lost media was originally brought to light by Baron von Brunk. It was a local Pennsylvanian Subway commercial which depicted two men in an all-white setting. One of them, a bald man with a really cool mustache, sits next to a man who's some sort of divine depiction and is only referred to as the Great Seer. The bald man says that he hungers for perfection. The Great Seer advertises the new Subway sub, and the bald guy eats the sub horizontally, which I'd never want to see again. Originally, some people believed that it could have been some sort of other sandwich chain company, considering that the commercial was said to be really low budget. And which made this search so interesting was how obscure it was, and how it was local, meaning it was harder to find versus something mainstream. It was also before the time of YouTube, so it wasn't accessible online. There's not too much to be said about it, to be honest. The search was the Lost Media Wiki's On the Hunt For, and it was found in April 2021 through an Instagram post. Funny enough, the commercial had been posted completely coincidentally back in January, and honestly, I have no idea how people were able to find this gem. Nonetheless, pretty interesting. Crybaby Lane. Nickelodeon's Crybaby Lane was a comedy horror TV film that aired for the Halloween season. Airing on October 28, 2000, the film never received any home media releases or even aired outside of the United States. The plot involves two boys trying to impress some girls by performing a seance in a graveyard. Yes, the youth. So during the seance, they reawaken the evil soul of a Siamese twin. Yeah, so this evil spirit can turn anything it touches evil, so it just basically goes around the town turning things evil, making the property value in the city plummet. So instead of calling for some sort of spiritual help, like a priest, the kids embark on Crybaby Lane to defeat this evil. So one of the boys, Carl, ends up getting possessed as well, and his brother Andrew has to cut the root out of the heart of the good Siamese twin to end this spooky movie. I'll be honest, I've never actually seen it. Shout out to the person who wrote the plot synopsis on the wiki. Yeah, so apparently a lot of people were saying that this was too controversial and too scary, and thus Nickelodeon never aired it afterwards. In 2011, Reddit user Fire Salad Peach claimed to have a VHS recording of the film from the premiere, and thus released the film on YouTube. It's believed that this sudden spike of interest grabbed the attention of Nickelodeon, who, on October 31st of the same year, re-aired the TV movie. Mickey Mouse in Vietnam. Mickey Mouse in Vietnam was a lost silent film depicting Mickey Mouse fighting during the Vietnam War. The film, created in 1968, was a social commentary about the ongoing war in Vietnam and the protests surrounding it. While the short itself was not produced by Disney, it featured iconic character Mickey Mouse enlisting in the military and being sent to Vietnam. In case you didn't know, the conflict of the Vietnam War lasted between 1955 and 1975, thus this short was produced during the time of the conflict. Upon arrival in Vietnam, Mickey Mouse sets out into the battlefield, where he is almost immediately killed. Despite having a helmet on, Mickey suffers a bullet to the head. He collapses to the ground with a smile on his face. The smile fades to a frown as our beloved cartoon mouse bleeds out. The short ends. The commentary here, the symbolism, is really powerful for the protest against the war. The short was only shown to select people who were directly associated with the creators of the film, and thus not seen publicly. That was until 2010, when it was shown at the Sarajevo Film Festival. I really hope I'm saying that right. However, it wasn't available for public viewing. In 2013, YouTube user Ebed Higgins, I really hope I'm also pronouncing that right, had uploaded a copy of the short with System of a Down's Soldier Side intro playing over it, but this video has since been removed due to copyright concerns. Then, in 2018, the complete short featuring the original soundtrack was uploaded to YouTube by user CDCB2 and has thus stayed online. Rhapsody Street Kids. This is honestly my favorite thing ever. In 2002, the world was blessed with Rhapsody Street Kids Believe in Santa, a musical Christmas special developed by Wolf Tracer Studios Incorporated and J. Rose Productions, airing on WB just in time for the holiday season. Yeah, this thing actually aired on TV. This gem blessed us all on Christmas Day, no less, and was meant to jumpstart the franchise known as Rhapsody Street Kids. It sucked. It's basically about a spoiled rotten girl learning the true meaning of Christmas through sentimental gifts from her classmate. Hijinks ensue, and thus we get this wonderful Christmas movie teaching us about the value of one's ability to give. Did you know Mark Hamill was in this, by the way? Yeah, legendary actor Mark Hamill was in this atrocity. I have no idea how they were able to pull this off. Well, the creator that had made this had never actually even checked in on the animators that were doing this work, so I guess there really wasn't any room for improvement. I mean, the cake is already baked. You can't just go back and add the eggs now, you know? They had a budget of $500,000 US. The movie was animated in a program called 3D Choreographer, which, if you just Google some of the stuff it makes, it's an interesting program. It never aired after 2000, never saw any home releases, and didn't resurface until 2015. Founder of the Lost Media Wiki, Dykate, had obtained a copy from the producer and uploaded it to Vimeo that year. It's strange how a lost, horrible Christmas movie garnered so much attention, but nonetheless, it's a lost media gem.
Snuffy's parents get a divorce. Sesame Street is no stranger to tackling harder topics such as death, marriage, birth, and even adoption. After all, kids deserve to learn about these topics at an early age so that they can understand them better. Rather inspired by current national happenings of the time, or events transpiring in the life of the show's staff, tackling subjects such as these helped elevate Sesame Street to much more than just a simple children's program. But even Sesame Street has its limits. In 1992, the crew behind the show wanted to tackle divorce as the big subject of the season, resulting in an episode in which the parents of Snuffleupagus and his sister Alice get a divorce. The episode was scheduled to air on April 10, 1992 as episode number 2985. However, the episode faced scrutiny from the advisory board, who felt that the script needed to more heavily emphasize the fact that arguments do not automatically end in divorce. So, the script was rewritten to include a scene in which show mainstay Gordon reassures Big Bird, Telly, and Elmo just because parents have an argument or get upset with each other doesn't mean they're getting a divorce or that they don't love each other anymore. Shortly after, the episode was filmed and then screened before an audience of 60 children. The results proved negative to say the least, with the children not understanding the message, with some believing that Snuffy's father ran away and that he and his sister would never see him again, and others believing that arguments did mean divorce. After the results from the screening came back, research developer Valeria Lovelace suggested scrapping the episode and going back to the drawing board. For years, all we had from the episode was a single screenshot from the episode, published in the 40 Years of Life on the Street book, released for the show's 40th anniversary in 2009. In November 2019, a scene from the unaired episode was screened publicly for the first time at the Sesame Street Lost and Found event at the Museum of the Moving Image, with footage later being used in the 2021 documentary 50 Years of Sunny Days. As it stands, I don't believe we'll ever see the full episode get released, with the best we can hope for being the occasional snippet being shown at an event. All That was a sketch comedy series that began airing on Nickelodeon in 1994. The show ran until 2005 and consisted of 178 episodes. The show was a massive success and gave rise to stars like Kenan Thompson and Kel Mitchell. Today, 20 episodes of the series are incomplete, while 29 episodes are completely missing, with the 12th episode of Season 10, featuring Brie Larson, remaining unaired in the US. With various lost episodes popping up online over the years, it stands to reason that these episodes will show up one day as well. Kappa Mikey Pilot. Airing on the Nicktoons network from 2006 to 2008, Kappa Mikey was a show that focused on teenager Mikey Simon winning a trip to Japan to star in an anime series. However, before the show found its way to Nicktoons network, the show was being conceived for MTV. A pilot was made at this stage and was geared towards older audiences with more adult humor. MTV would inevitably pass on the show, and the pilot was never shown publicly. That is, until July 26, 2017, when the show's executive producer, Sergei Aniskov, uploaded the full pilot to his YouTube channel. The pilot is low quality and uses temporary voice tracks, but it's the full original pilot. However, on March 29, 2018, a second pilot was confirmed to exist when it was uploaded by YouTube user Team Not Crash. This pilot was confirmed as real by the show's creator and used a different art style and voice cast from the MTV pilot. As of this writing, both pilots can still be found on YouTube. Electric Piper. The Electric Piper is an animated made-for-TV movie that aired on Nickelodeon in early 2003. The film was directed by Rami Mazquiz and written by Chalk's own creator Bill Burnett. The voice cast included Rodney Dangerfield, Rob Schneider, and George Segal. Based on the tale of the Pied Piper, the story centers around a guitarist named Sly, modeled after Jimi Hendrix, who uses his music to get rid of rats who are invading a suburban town called Hamlin. When the mayor doesn't give Sly his reward, a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, he takes his revenge by convincing the children of the town to run away and join him on a mountain. After airing a handful of times on Nickelodeon, the film quietly vanished and was never aired again. And due to Nickelodeon's legal department at the time fearing that the music in the movie was too close to the actual songs they were referencing, it never received a VHS or DVD release. However, in late August 2016, Lost Media Wiki user Stuart Is Me got a hold of the film and uploaded it to MySpleen, while another user later uploaded it to YouTube. As of today, the film can be viewed in its entirety online. Kingdom of the Sun. As I touched upon previously in my 4 Cancel Disney Villains That Didn't Make the Cut video, Kingdom of the Sun was the original version of the 2000 Disney film The Emperor's New Groove. The movie was going to be a traditional Disney musical centered around an emperor named Mako, who meets a llama herder named Pacha, only to discover that they look identical. Finding this out, the two switch places in a manner similar to The Prince and the Pauper. Meanwhile, the evil sorceress Yzma plans to summon the Incan god Supe to block out the sun forever, as the sun gives her wrinkles. Following the success Elton John had with the Lion King soundtrack, musician Sting was hired to write several songs for the film. Unfortunately, the film faced several story issues and just wasn't coming together properly. With the film coming closer and closer to its summer 2000 release date, it was clear that something needed to be done. The release date would be pushed to December 2000 and the story overhauled, with all the musical numbers removed. The film released as we know it today as The Emperor's New Groove on December 15, 2000. With nearly 25% of the original film fully animated, who knows if we'll ever see it. The closest will likely come is an unofficial documentary on the film titled The Sweatbox, which documents the last days of the original film's production. It can be found online. Hitogata. Also known as white humanoids, Hitogata is a mysterious lost commercial that has baffled the internet for years now. It all started on an anonymous Japanese message board known as 2channel. When discussing creepy commercials, a user posted the following. There was this terribly scary commercial, and I still have it constantly left in my memory. There were two white human figures depicted against a black backdrop, and this noise going gum gum kept ringing. What's sure is the part that went, every 2 seconds, a man dies on Earth. So after the noise is repeated twice, one of the figures disappear. On the next instant, the human figure returns back to its old place, and now it's the other one that disappears. It was a commercial of only that repeating over and over for an extended time. Multiple people claim to have seen the commercial, though reports often vary. It's still unknown what this supposed commercial was advertising, with people believing it could have been advertising soap, jeans, a drugstore, or perhaps the most popular and believable theory, a railroad safety PSA. Who knows if we'll ever get to the bottom of this particular mystery. Newt. Originally announced in 2008 for release in 2011, but later delayed to 2012 before being cancelled entirely by early 2010, Newt would have been Pixar's next movie after Toy Story 3 and Cars 2. Said to be directed by Gary Rydstrom, director of Pixar shorts such as Lifted and Hawaiian Vacation, Newt would have centered on the last remaining male and female blue-footed newts on the planet being forced together to save the species. The caveat being that they can't stand each other. The film's plot is compared a lot to Blue Sky Studios' Rio, released in 2011, which centers on Blue, the last male Sphinx macaw, who needs to mate with Jewel, the last female Sphinx macaw, in order to save their species. Sound familiar? Well, that's because it's the same plot as Newt. Though, when asked about the film in a 2014 interview, Pixar president Ed Catmull stated that Newt simply just wasn't working in pre-production. Newt would at one point be passed on to Pixar veteran Pete Docter, the mind behind such classics such as Monsters Inc. and Up, and when offered the film, Docter instead pitched an idea that Pixar thought was better. That idea would end up becoming Inside Out, thus putting a definitive end to Newt. London After Midnight. London After Midnight is a silent horror film from 1927 starring Lon Chaney, perhaps best known for his role as the Phantom in 1925's The Phantom of the Opera. The film centers on Sir Roger Balfour, a mansion owner, being found dead, with Professor Edward Burke sent to investigate the incident. Years later, the house is old and decrepit, with dark mysteries lurking inside. The mansion now belongs to an odd man who just so happens to be named Roger Balfour. Professor Burke is once again tasked to attend to the supposed vampires that reside within the residence. However, it turns out that Burke is Balfour in disguise. Variety at the time thought that the other actors weren't interested enough to carry the film, and that the film would sell solely on Lon Chaney's name alone. The film went on to perform moderately. Supposedly, only one copy of the film existed, and in 1965 is believed to have been destroyed in a large MGM studio fire. The occurrence and specifics of this fire are still debated to this day, with some stating that it could have been an electrical fire. However, production stills from the film ended up surviving over the years, and in 2002, film preservationist Rick Schmidlin was commissioned by Turner Classic Movies to produce a reconstruction of the film using these same production stills. This reconstruction can still be viewed online today, but the original version of the film is likely lost forever. Chris Farley's Shrek. DreamWorks' first animated feature, Shrek, took the world by storm in 2001, in part thanks to Mike Myers' superb performance as the titular character, the ogre Shrek, who wants nothing more than to be left alone in his swamp. However, Mike Myers was not the first actor selected for the role, but rather fellow Saturday Night Live cast member Chris Farley. Sometime around 1995, Farley was cast as the lead role. with Janine Garoppolo cast as Princess Fiona. It is said that Farley completed around 85% of his dialogue before his untimely passing on December 23, 1997, but an exact percentage has never been released, with some sources claiming his dialogue could be as much as 95% completed. Mean Girls DS. Few Lost Media topics were encased in such mystery and intrigue as the once fabled Mean Girls game for the Nintendo DS. Was it real? Was it a hoax? Who made it? Why was Lindsay Lohan not on the cover? These were all questions that plagued the Lost Media community for years. Allegedly released in Europe on September 11, 2009, with a North American release for 2010 cancelled, Mean Girls DS was a tie-in game to the 2004 comedy Mean Girls, but no evidence of it ever being released could be found. There were a few listings on foreign game sites, as well as what were apparently a few screenshots from the game, but most people considered it to be a hoax. That is, until 2021, when YouTube user Bob Dunga uploaded a documentary on the game, featuring never-before-seen gameplay, as well as uploading a full playthrough of the game. Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a popular British science fiction show about the titular Doctor and the many adventures he goes on through space and time, often coming across aliens and other creatures. First airing in 1963, the show has become a household name for many, many people, and is still going strong today thanks to a revival which started in 2005. However, out of the 253 episodes from the program's first 6 seasons, out of 26 total seasons in the classic era, 97 episodes are missing today. The BBC, who produced and distributed the show, had a habit in the 60s and 70s of deleting old archived shows for many reasons, be it lack of space or other. Because of this, 26 stories are incomplete, with 44 episodes missing from William Hartnell's run as the first Doctor, and 53 episodes missing from Patrick Troughton's run as the second Doctor. Various lost episodes have been found and recovered over the years, with other methods like animation being used to recreate the episodes. While it's unlikely every single episode will ever be found, I don't think that recreating the majority of these episodes in some way is entirely outside the realm of possibility.
Freaky Flickers. Freaky Flickers is a lost CGI film that was based on a toy line of the same name, and followed Arg the Pirate on his quest to acquire the Golden Flicker. It began production in 2005 as a television series, but changed direction to be a movie several years later in 2009. The entire production was handled by Carrie Howe, and had a budget of $250,000. Months into its production, and after months of work, Howe left the film with his editor, only to find out that the creator of the toy line had come into the office and stolen every asset of the film overnight. Only trailers and one scene from the film are all that's ever resurfaced, and it's not known what happened to the stolen content. Pink Morning Cartoon. Lots of people have their own personal memories of strange television programs they might have seen growing up, or some kind of eerie short that they only have vague recollections of. However, in the case of Pink Morning Cartoon, we have much more than that. This show, officially titled TV8 Kids Fun Festival, was a program that aired locally in the late 90s, created by Ella Flowers, who was the reverend of a local church. It wouldn't be until the late 2000s when a clip of the show found its way to YouTube, where questions surrounding its origin were brought up. This led to a months-long search on the Lost Media Wiki forums, as well as the Pink Morning Cartoon Discord server, in attempts to find who created this short and what its purpose was. Once newspaper articles had been discovered, and a connection to Ella's daughter was made, it became clear what this unsettling show actually was. Apparently, the master tapes were destroyed long ago, and it's not known how many episodes are still in existence, either in storage or locally in the community. Sonic X-Treme. Sonic X-Treme is one of those games with an unfortunate development history that prevented it from releasing as intended. Originally planned for release on the Sega Saturn in 1996, it would have featured 360-degree levels seen through a fisheye filter, giving Sonic the ability to wrap around levels at high speeds. The game went through many changes in development, delays, and even systems it was being developed for, which added to complications when it was being made. The project was ultimately cancelled, and its difficult development has added to its legacy, though many assets from the game have resurfaced over the years, including trailers, sprites, and even several builds. Fans have attempted to rebuild the game in attempts to give us an idea of what it could have been like had it released or been finished. The Stolen Original Food Fight. If you're in the Lost Media scene or not, there's a pretty high chance you've heard of Food Fight to some extent. It's a movie with a similar concept to Toy Story about a supermarket that comes to life after the store closes. It was panned for its low budget and had a rocky development cycle, but years before it finally came out, the project looked quite different. The film's concept began in 1997 and entered production in 2002, acquiring a huge budget and leading investors to believe the studio threshold could be the next Pixar. However, this is when the film took a turn for the worse, as in December of 2002, hard drives containing the film were allegedly stolen. Most of the budget had already been spent, and outdated software was used to salvage the project. Later, it was discovered that the hard drives weren't stolen, but intentionally deleted. Satellaview games. Lost video games are one of the most popular categories of lost media to search for, and it goes without saying that the games which used to be readily available, but no longer are, means the search for them is feasible. This perfectly describes the Satellaview. This allowed players the ability to download games and other media through satellite broadcasts, and has led to a whole world of lost media, which searchers are currently attempting to find. Over several years, Nintendo would most notably release new versions of their games, such as F-Zero, with the addition of never-before-seen tracks. These special features are something the community wants to preserve, which means having to seek out the Satellaview carts used to store the games and test them in a player to see what's on them. One of the most difficult parts of this process is not knowing what's on the carts unless they've been tested, but even then, they often go for quite a lot of money. CN Power Play games. If you were a fan of Cartoon Network back in the day and frequently checked out their website, then there's a pretty high chance you found their games section and had a few favorites. I'm sure when you were playing these games as a kid, and even nowadays, you might not realize many of these games have become lost media, or that anyone is even attempting to find them. One of the more famous examples of these games was called Bowl Ed Over, which is an Ed, Edd n Eddy bowling themed game. It boasted 3D graphics and some nice artwork reminiscent of the show. A demo link to the executable of the game was found on the Wayback Machine, and eventually the game became playable again without time restrictions. These games ended up becoming lost in the first place as a result of Shockwave games becoming less popular over the years, and like most outdated content, Cartoon Network phasing them out and shutting down the service. Cricket and Clover. Panic at the Disco rose to huge popularity around 2015 with the release of Death of a Bachelor, but their history goes back nearly a decade. During this early era, when the band was still figuring out what they wanted their sound to be, a lot more experimentation went on, which led to a famous piece of lost media within the fandom, Cricket and Clover, or the Cabin Album for short. This creation was the result of the band having locked themselves in a cabin in the mountains to immerse themselves in the project. The album was said to be a concept album and utilized bizarre instrumentation while maintaining a fantasy-style vibe. Unfortunately, this whole process didn't go well for the band, as being away from civilization for so long started taking a toll on them, and eventually it was decided to scrap the album and start from scratch. Some elements and lyrics from Cricket and Clover made their way into Pretty Odd, but for the most part, we've never heard the true incarnation of what Cricket and Clover was supposed to be, as the masters have never resurfaced. Me and My Friends. If you grew up in the late 2000s, then chances are you watched the Backyardigans on Nick Jr. back in the day. This cartoon, about 5 animal friends
So I was going for a while.
to go on adventures, was very popular.
That's why I was kind of hungry. I decided to get some stuff to eat. We're about to actually get back into the live soon. Oh god, let's see what's my recommended. See if anything that I watch. Yeah, I definitely watch his videos because I like watching reaction videos. Don't know if I saw this one. I watch his channel, but I haven't seen that video. I haven't seen this one yet. I haven't seen this video. All these people I watch his channels besides this dude and this dude. Oh, David Power, please kick back. Let's see. We're just gonna go back to Iceberg videos. Yummy. I actually have food with me right now. So like, I'm eating. Check my Discord. If you have Iceberg, let's try this. Well, that looks more like cabbage. That might just be cabbage, not lettuce. Oh, that could be lettuce. Is that cabbage or lettuce? I'm like, I've just done so much stuff with it. Why would you? I feel like that's cabbage. I feel like that's cabbage. I'm gonna check the comments though. But that's different. Okay, let's watch something. Let's watch MK. We all love MK over